Hey, folks, my guest today is Konstantin Bayandin. He's the CEO and founder of Tommy.ai, also ex-CMO of Ozon, the largest e-commerce player in Russia. He's an ex-Martech senior director of Compass, ex-BCG, Stanford MBA, and spotted a 20 billion opportunity in digital ad optimization and real estate to now build Tommy.ai, 1 million pre-seed funding to turn lead gen businesses into e-commerce. He's also an Ironman finisher and theoretical physicist. Konstantin, are you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, I'm really happy to be here, and I'm a fan of your podcast, Nathan.
Oh, very cool. Why'd you agree? People go, Nathan, why do people agree to come on? You ask them for so many data points. Why do you agree to come on?
We just, to hang out with the guys from the industry, SaaS, enterprise SaaS, and, expand my network in this way.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, let's talk more about what you're building. So who's using Tommy right now?
Yeah, so we have 24 customers in several industries. We aim at businesses with long sales cycles, and we are solving three major problems for these kind of businesses. Long decision cycles for SMBs or consumer customers, offline conversions, and very rare transactions. And the best ICP is a real estate developer or brokerage, a bank, an insurance company, or automotive company.
And so how do you price for this? What do they pay on average per month?
We are an enterprise SaaS business, and we charge a fee of $5,000 per month. With them of $50,000 to $100,000 a year.
I see. And so is that your only price point, or tell me why someone would pay you way more or way less?
Yeah, so we have a tiered pricing system. So if you optimize your advertising spend to a certain limit of $100,000 on Google and Facebook per month, you pay the starting package of $5,000 per month. If you go beyond that, you get the next level packages with some discounting on the pay-per-usage price.
So Konstantin, just to be clear, $5,000 a month, that's money to you, or that's money they're giving you to spend on ads?
So we are a software, so we don't run the ads ourselves. We provide a solution to do it in a more efficient way to our customers. They run ads by themselves in Google or Facebook, or their agencies do it for them.
That $5,000 is they're paying you to use your software. So $5,000 times 24 customers, you guys are about $120,000 a month right now in revenue.
Yeah, so we have some customers that are ramping up. So we reached 1 million ARR last December, this December, like the December last year, and with 24 customers, it gives us $4,000 to $5,000.
That's great. So I guess if you're at like $90,000, it sounds like in January or this month you're going to do about $90,000, right? Something like that.
Yeah. So we're still growing, adding more customers every month.
And if you're doing about $80,000 or $90,000 per month today in revenue, where were you exactly 1 year ago?
So 1 year ago we had around 250 plus ARR with 4 clients.
250. Okay, interesting. And how do you? So those 4 clients, were they all from one specific niche or no?
No, we tested a lot in the beginning. So at that time they were real estate to e-commerce companies and one ed tech company, education technology company. And they are still with us. Yeah,
they're all still with you. Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right, so the teal is what a VC would pay, yellow is what private equity, and red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise. They sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview. So what are you, give me a backstory here. You have based off your bio, a lot of different things you've had your hands on. What year did you launch, Tommy?
Yeah, so I had always been a data geek and, sciencey guy, and turned into a marketer. And I worked for more than 5 years in e-commerce, in leading positions in marketing. And at some point, 3 years ago, I moved back to the United States, to New York, and worked at Compass in paid digital marketing and marketing technology. And I spotted a huge opportunity because, doing digital marketing in real estate is real pain. And as I said, the key problem is that long conversion cycles offline and with very rare conversions that you cannot use for optimization for ads, Google and Facebook. And I grasped the opportunity for predictive marketing approach, where you can score every website visitor in real time and use this scoring the expected probability to pay later. And
Tell me, what year was this though? When did you launch the business?
The first paying customer was on April 2020.
And when did you write the first line of code? 2020 as well?
Yeah. So it was on the go. The first customers used the MVP solution, and right now we wrote the solution completely with the engineers we hired, and now we have a cloud-based solution for every customer. The same code.
What's the total team size today? How many people?
So we are 19 people. Half of the team are technology engineers, product people, and myself. Yeah.
And Tommy, and then Konstantin, I'm going to ask this: bootstrapped or you raised?
Yeah, so it's an interesting story. I was alone for the first year in 2020, and I was able to get to the first 6 customers and 35 MRR, 35,000 MRR. And I started to raise money to hire the team. I got, my co-founder Dmitry, who first was the angel investor and then converted as a co-founder. And fast things forward, we are now 4 times larger than the company was then it was alone.
Sorry, just to be clear, I asked you earlier, you said today revenue is $90,000 a month. I asked you what was revenue a year ago. You said about 20,000 or about 250,000.
22 a month in December last year.
Okay. And then go back a year, back to 2020. You just said revenue then was 30,000 a month?
So wait, December 21, 80 plus, and December 2020, 22. And I started the business in 2020.
Sorry, I know you just said, I thought I heard you say in 2020, you grew it by yourself to $30,000 a month in revenue. Was that right?
Yeah. By February, March, and I started to hire people
This was 2 years ago in 2020.
I started to hire people in 2021 in February, March. So
Got it. Konstantin, sorry. What I'm trying to get to, I'm missing something here with the numbers. You said in 2020, you grew revenue to $30,000 a month. Last year, you said 22,000 a month. So you shrunk your first 12 months in business?
So I started in April 2020, was running it alone. By December 2020, I had $22,000 a month. I still run it alone, and I started to hire people in February, March last year, 2021. And by that time, I had 35K run rate per month.
I see. So you went from sort of $20,000 a month in 2020 to 80,000 bucks a month in 2021. That was a couple months ago. To now you're doing about 90,000 bucks a month. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
I see. I see. That makes sense. Okay. So just to be clear, to answer my question, still bootstrapped or you raised?
So we raised $1 million in pre-seed a year ago, closing in April.
And what valuation was that at?
So it was plain 6 mil post money safe.
Okay. And did that, looking back, do you regret that, or was that the right deal for you at that time?
So we could raise less because our revenue grew really well, and we still, didn't spend even half of the money. But I believe you should raise more than you need over time in order to not to be in a position when you strive for new funding.
Konstantin, how much of that money is still in the bank today?
More than half.
Oh, wow. So more than 500 grand sitting in the bank today. That's great. Are you looking at raising more capital now?
Yeah, we are raising money right now. We want to raise a seed up to 5 million.
Okay. And what valuation, assuming you get exactly what you want, what valuation would you love to raise at?
So if I get an offer from a reputable firm for 30 post money valuation, I'll be happily, I will happily admit the offer. Yeah.
So 5 on a 25 per year 30 post, or you're selling approximately 15% of the business.
5 on 30 posts.
Yep. 5 on 30 posts. You'd be selling about, again, 15% of the business. Honestly, what you're asking for is market. I mean, right? You're asking for a 27x valuation multiple above the 1 million you're doing right now. Why not ask for more? Why not go bigger?
I mean, it's we have really high interest, and we have about a half of the round already in soft commitments, looking for a lead investor. And if you have competition, it can be higher.
Would you definitely want to sell equity here? I mean, as you know, we have a fund, but it's not equity, it's debt. Would you ever look at funding some of your growth with debt so you can keep equity, or no?
Well, debt is tricky. So you can, it might look better in the beginning, but it can be a drawback in the future. So equity.
What are some ways it could be a drawback in the future? It sounds like you have some experience with this.
I mean, with equity, you get smart money. So actually, not only get the money, you get the connections of investors, some help on the way forward for the future rounds. And with debt, you never know how it goes. And equity is more protected from the downside.
This is all true. This is all true. Obviously, just giving up more equity. I like to think of myself as debt, but also very strategic. I.e., the reason you wanted to come on the show. We should talk after.
If you want to invest, you're welcome to.
I'm just going off metric you've already shared with me. FounderPath would probably spit out an offer for you of which is eventually our capital, right? Probably 500 grand, and you're growing healthy with a pretty good profile in terms of expenses, and you have good cash balance of 500K already. We'd probably give you 500K and let you pay it back over 2 or 3 years at a fairly competitive rate. It wouldn't be bank capital cheap at like 6%, but it wouldn't be like Clearco company expensive at like 30%. It'd be like 15%, something like that.
Yeah, thank you for the offer. It's already a great, value from the call, from 15 minutes call.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. But I like what you're doing. I just wonder how you think about preserving equity over the long term. Have you had a company in the past that you've sold where you did raise from VCs?
Well, no, it's my first company, and before that, I was in executive roles on the large companies, like pre-IPO companies.
Yep. Well, it sounds like you're doing the right things. You're growing nicely, which is great to hear. Talk to me a little bit about churn, right? So are these what is your net dollar retention over the past 12 months?
Yeah, so we had 6 customers that are more than 1 year. So it's really hard to judge what is our churn, and most of the customer base came within the last 6 to 9 months. What's important? So we run a pilot project with our customers to prove the value to them. And we get and expect to get 2/3 of them to convert into recurring permanent customers. And by far, we estimate that our churn should be like around 1-2% per month for those customers who converted from a pilot to a yearly contract.
Understood. And in terms of signing up these customers, right? They're $5,000 a month customers. What are you spending on customer acquisition costs to get them?
Yeah, so we spent very little on marketing. So for Q4 last year, we spent only $4,000 on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. We invest a lot into cold outbound sales. We also believe that our next 2 channels to chase for are content marketing for inbound strategy to generate interesting content for decision makers, and to get their attention and eventually get them as warm leads. And the second channel that we believe in is the event-based marketing. So going to events, conferences, and talking to the decision makers when they are ready to talk. So in our industry, the upper funnel part is really tricky because it's very crowded in marketing technology space. But whenever we get to a call, whenever we show a demo of our product, we get a conversion into a contract for like 20% of our conversations.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, if you look at your total expenses, not just marketing expense, right? Total expenses, if you're adding, one customer a month or something, right? What were your total expenses last month? And could you get into a fully weighted CAC that way?
So our gross burn is 130 a month.
Okay.
130,000. And our target cost on sales is 40% of the revenue.
First year revenue.
Yeah.
Got it. So if someone's going to pay you $60,000 in the first year, you're willing to spend up to $24,000 to get that customer, but you're nowhere near that right now.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. This is a great story, Konstantin. Let's wrap up here with the famous 5, all right?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Number 1, favorite business book.
0 to 1, Peter Thiel.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Yes, Daniel Perikatski, my former boss from Zone. I adore his leadership style and customer obsession.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building Tommy?
SimilarWeb, amazing tool. I was one of the early customers in Russia. I love it. So just to spy on your competitors and many more things.
Are you based in Russia right now?
No, I'm in Palo Alto, California.
Okay. I'm going to ask a sensitive question because it's relevant with the events currently happening. Does this impact you at all? Like Putin, Ukraine? I mean, does this impact you at all since you're from Russia? I mean, probably not, right?
Well, it bugs me a little bit, but we're a US-based company, Delaware C Corp, and Russia is a really small part of the global marketing technology and online marketing market. So it's not a big deal for us.
You're not seeing anyone treat you different because you were originally like launched or based from or came from Russia or anything like that, right? I know that, again, that's a tough question to ask, but I'm curious,
And nothing like that. And there are a lot of Russian-based founders in very well-known companies in your list, actually. Miro, Reich.
I love Russian founders. I mean, I think it's great. I'm just curious how macroeconomic events potentially impact or don't impact you. That's all.
That's an external factor. We just live with it and just try to do our thing and do it to the best level possible.
That's a good outlook. All right. And what's your how many hours of sleep are you getting every night?
I sleep 6 or less hours during weekdays. Yeah.
Okay. And what's your situation, Konstantin? Married, single, kids?
Happily married with 2 kids, 2-year-old, 7-year-old.
Oh, and wow.
Actually, today is the birthday of my 7-year-old daughter.
It's her birthday?
It's the birthday of my 7-year-old daughter. Like today, literally.
Oh, like you're having another kid today, or today is her birthday?
No. Her birthday, yes, 7 years.
Oh, very cool. That's so cool. All right. And how old are you?
I'm 40.
40. Last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
Oh, yes. I get to the Silicon Valley as ASAP.
Guys, there you have it. Tommy.ai growing nicely. 24 enterprise customers paying $5,000 a month, doing $90,000 a month today in revenue, up from $80,000 a month back just 2 months ago in December, and up from $22,000 a month back in December of 2020. Healthy growth. They raised a pre-seed last year, $1 million on a 6 post, so a 24x multiple. Hoping to raise, maybe now, frankly, their seed $5 million on a 30 pre or post would be something that Konstantin would get very excited about. We'll see if it happens. But again, growing nicely, still $500K cash in the bank, gross burn about $150,000 a month with a team of, call it, 19 people. Konstantin, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you. Have a good day.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers. They try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company, or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them, and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.